The opinions expressed in this video belonging to the participants and do not represent the views held by PPS Holdings Trust, its subsidiaries, and affiliates. PPS is a licensed insurer conducting life insurance business, a licensed controlling company, and an authorized financial services provider. The information shared in this video does not constitute financial, legal, tax, or insurance advice. Viewers are encouraged to consult with a qualified financial advisor or insurance professional before making any decisions. So now we've spoken about getting your income protected. We should dive into how to do more with that. Now we're going to touch on side hustles. We are still here talking about the things we wish we knew about climbing the corporate ladder, the Grootman edition. So, in this day and age, having just one job doesn't feel like enough, which is where the side hustle comes in. What exactly is a side hustle? What is it important? How do you even get the right one for you?
Sure. Look, I have a different experience with side hustles. So a few years ago, I had side hustles. So I have a tech background. So I went out and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go and build websites like everybody else is doing, right? So I built a few websites, but it then became a full-time job over and above the job. So it was making me good income. Like I could, do extra with the money. But then the commitment was a lot because then you, at the time, catering for smaller businesses with small budgets but with big asks. So you're almost having to babysit the whole thing. But look, using the skill that you have is quite important, and that's how I did that. And then I decided to say, look, I want to focus on my core job and then see how I do there, and then use the income to either invest and get more income elsewhere where I'm not necessarily needed. But I would say start with the skill that you have and then build from there.
Yeah. So I mean, it's an interesting one. Again, so you take it back to the whole point of you being an asset, and you being able to monetize that asset, say like with a job, and then the next question would be, well, there's another part of me that is still an asset, and I can monetize it in a particular way. But then the point that Joshua is pointing out is that you can't be in two places at once. So and that's where you need to start figuring out very quickly that is this thing portable? Is this thing that's something that I can get somebody else to do, not me? And we talk about side hustles where it always feels like you need to get your hands in it, but you don't always have to. If you're diligent enough and you look for not buying assets but rather buying cash flows. So I'd rather go buy a franchise or like whatever the case might be. Like maybe that might be too expensive. Or Mama who's selling Amagwinya and I say, listen, I'll buy the stock for a couple of months, but then we split whatever. So there's ways and means, depending on the context within which you find yourself, to try and make extra money. Like that's the side hustle. We want to glorify it. It's just trying to find extra money with what I've got. And I mean.
Yeah, no, that's true, man. And to what both of you are saying, it's the time that it takes for that side hustle, right? It mustn't start now encroaching on your main job. And so you need to decide what will actually work for you. Is it something that you have to do where you are there all the time? That's what Joseph was saying now, using your skill sets and whatnot. Or is it something where you're providing capital to someone else? So in both of those instances, it's extra income on the side, but it's what are you expending first? Are you expending your time? You're expending your capital, your money, and it definitely helps, but it must all be part of a bigger picture. There's no point in working your normal day job and then going to do your side hustle, which is now a full-time job, and you have no rest and you have no life, because that's not sustainable for any amount of time.
And look, I think we touched on it maybe earlier on the other segments, Hamilton, around you not getting into the side hustle, particularly to make extra money. Yes, making extra money is important. Like, I think that's the whole end goal. But so that you enjoy it also, right? So
Yeah.
it must be something that you really like. So I have a friend of mine down in KZN who runs a barber, but is a software engineer during the week. But like, he runs a barber and he does like a guy's setup, and then he has people who are there. But obviously, when he got like bonuses and stuff, so he would pump stuff into that. And to make his point, he's not there all the time.
Yeah.
But then he's pumping money into it, creating employment, but still doing something that he really enjoys. Now this thing is scaling out, right? Because he loves it. So now he's going into beverages. So now it's like, okay, cool, let's introduce maybe like mixology into the experience of when the gents are there at the barber. So like, I would always say, start with something that you really, really like, enjoy, not like passionate about, like enjoy doing, and then build from there. Yes, eventually you'll make the money, but if it's something that you really enjoy, the chances of you sticking through it is actually higher.
How do you protect yourself when you have the side hustle? Let's say you're a doctor and you have a surgery or you have a practice. What are the ways that you can protect yourself if that is your side hustle? Are there ways that you can protect yourself?
Protect yourself how? Like from maybe like just help us out there in terms of how do you.
So is there any form of an indemnity to essentially protect the business that you've got on the side, as that you would call your side hustle?
Sure.
Yeah. I think you need indemnity for any business.
Yeah.
It's not just a side hustle, but it depends what type of business. And I mean, there's lots of regulations on most businesses. You need licenses for this. You need licenses for that. If you're offering professional services, you obviously need indemnity, professional indemnity of some sort. And that is just to cover yourself against, anybody coming back and saying, listen, you gave me a horrible this,
You
or
did a
after
horrible job.
I did a horrible job, or I came here
Horrible
and
advice.
and after I left here, I couldn't walk properly,
Yeah.
or whatever the case might
Yeah.
be. So and then they put a claim against you. So I mean, I think as a entrepreneurship is a different ball game altogether, and those types of things are quite important. Like indemnities is important. So yeah. But I love what Josiah was saying in terms of like passion projects.
Yeah.
You know, so when like I think there's a connotation to the term side hustle, almost like it's a passion project.
Yeah.
Because if it's for making money, yes, it's for making money. It probably means that you're not budgeting
Yeah.
properly as well.
Yeah, you're just looking at the outcome. And look, another thing is contracting, eh? Whether a lot of people actually don't think around the fact that you're offering a service, stuff can go wrong.
Yeah.
The basics of contracts. So I think there's a lot offered around where you can actually just have a basic contract before you get into engagement, particularly if you're offering services. Like, but if you like goods and goods, I think it's a different conversation. But like where you're offering a service, when someone can come back and say, hey, dude, you didn't deliver X, Y, Z. You need to make sure that you contract upfront and correctly, right? So that you also protect it. And then your side hustle doesn't become a pain, because now you're dealing with all of these legal battles.
No, that's great. That's great. And you know, nowadays we live in a generation where a lot of us are quite tied to our titles. You know, we spoke about it earlier on, where you know, when I asked you guys when you were younger, did you guys, you know, just kind of have that thing where you just spent your money, or did you do the right things? And it was like, you know, I've worked hard for this. And so in the same sense, people attach themselves to the titles, to the degrees that they've worked really hard for. But then it also happens with the side hustles, you know, to say that, okay, this is something that I do and I attach my identity to it. What are your guys' view on that? Have you guys ever had to deal with tying yourself to something that you started on the side? You know, I love how you talked about you've got the developer who has a barber. You ever wonder if like he tied himself to that?
Look, I've gotten to a point where the envy of entrepreneurship doesn't necessarily stress me out a lot. There was a point, like as I was grafting and just building a career, where I was like, okay, maybe this thing of being employed doesn't. And then you look at your friends who are entrepreneurs, obviously you like look at them in a certain light. But I think the mindset shift of knowing that what I'm building in my career could potentially be as big as some of the entrepreneurs that I see around me. So I think that really I divorced my identity around, even in my job, I don't attach myself to my title. Hey, it's like I go there, I offer a service, we work together, then we go home.
Yeah.
So really not. I think, but it's important to work through that, or else whether you side hustling, whether it's your title at work, then it goes to your head, right? And then it becomes something that you are the chief, which is a problem.
But there's a flip side to that, because if you are chasing titles and you don't get the title, now you feel like a failure.
Yes.
Because you know you wanted that thing, you wanted that title, but and you don't get the title, but you still just as skillful. I mean, just as skilled. You have that work experience.
Yeah.
So by all means, you're still that successful person. But because you've now attached it to a title, I think it's how you value success, really.
That's very true.
Yeah, it's what you value and what you want to get out of your career. Is it the title? Is it the experience? Is it the knowledge? Is it being able to solve problems? So you need to find that for yourself. And
I think it is one purpose to what you just do. You enjoy certain things and whatever. Like from my perspective, I just like solving problems. Like, I know people say that.
Yeah.
But for me, like, genuinely, I genuinely just enjoy that. Like, I really like, once I solve a problem, it's almost like I've won. I don't know what.
Yeah.
So whether you can do it within the context of corporate, whether you can do it within the context of helping somebody else, somebody coming through to you, and you're not consulting, but I'm giving you nuggets and whatever, and you can solve a problem, and that problem that we're solving, we can have a massive impact, and we can change the trajectory of people's lives. Like purpose and just being true to yourself, then it doesn't really matter. Like, you can easily divorce yourself from a lot of things, because put me in a desert, I'll probably do the same thing.
Yeah, Max, that's it, man. You knowing yourself, knowing what's good for you. You're not going to attach yourself to the success or failure of a project or of a business, because you know that that's not all that you are.